Hello there, and welcome back to All the Mods 9. I hope you're having a wonderful day. We're going to be going down a bit of a rabbit hole today. I want to, by the end of today's episode, have a full setup of every mechanism, not just device, but have them all upgraded to their factory block, at least the basic version. So to do that, we're going to need a lot of steel for these steel casings. The steel casings, if you remember last time, we got the steel by, if I can hit the right button, we made the steel dust, which we got steel dust by infusing enriched iron, which in turn was we infused iron both with coal and then we smelted it down. I saw there's another option in here, primitive blast furnace from GregTech. Iron plus coal, coal dust, coal coke, charcoal, and it turns into steel. And you get a little bit of a extra resource. So I actually want to try this. So I was looking up I was trying to look up here how to build the primitive blast furnace. And yeah, this page is broken. There you go, multi-block, primitive blast furnace, the page is missing. So this isn't helping me, but I did a quick Google search. While I couldn't find this blast furnace, I did find the coke oven from GregTech, and it is the exact same design I remember from Feed the Beast Ultimate nearly 10 years ago. It wasn't GregTech back then, it was a completely different mod, but the texture looks the same and the build looks the same. It's a multi-block, the build looks the same. So I'm going to assume it's done the exact same way, so we just need to make a few changes. So we're going to need to make some fire bricks, which is going to require fire clay, and we need fire clay dust, which looks like it is clay dust plus brick dust. And I did say we were going down a rabbit hole today, did I not? Okay, so clay dust, we need a mortar and pestle. Need a mortar. This looks like a steel one. Is there a different ones we can use? Okay. So we can use any number of different ones. Let's go with let's raw iron. I want regular iron. Gonna need some stone. Really? Anyway. That's the 5 stone we needed. So let's make this mortar. Then we're going to need to turn some of this into clay blocks. How many am I going to need? Okay, so 1 brick dust and 1 clay dust turns into 2 fire clay dust. We need 4 per brick. And we're going to need, let's see, 9, 18, 26 in total. I didn't check his he never usually has anything good anyway. Okay, let's do this. 32. I just said I needed 27. So yeah, okay. Next we need to fire up some bricks. Well, we need more clay. And let's see, to make, yeah, that's it. All right, so we gotta make up some clay, turn those into bricks. We'll turn those into fire bricks. Next, we're gonna need a few tools. I think I have a hammer that works. This one might work. Otherwise, I'm going to try making one of these. Actually, it looks like that's the only one that does work. Okay, so we're gonna need a file. Okay, that gets us an iron file. Next, we're going to need to make a... okay, well, we need a hammer, so that's easy enough. Then we need some iron rods. We need a stick. Yep, stick. the file here, put the hammer there. That gives us a screwdriver. Okay, so now we have some basic tools for GregTech. File, hammer, screwdriver. Then we're going to need another iron plate. We're going to need a few screws, which require bolts, which requires a saw. I did say we were going down a rabbit hole today. So one of these will turn into 2 bolts, and then we need 2 bolts in order to make 1 screw. Hopefully I only need to do this once for the blast furnace block, and the rest I use the fire clay blocks. Although I may have to do this for each one individually. We will find out soon enough. Where's the clay? There's the clay. Let's turn these into bricks. It's only enough for 7 right now. Okay, you know what? Let's assume I'm going to need a lot more. Because if I don't, I'm still going to need these anyway. I'm going to find uses for them. And I would just wait for everything else to be done cooking up, and then I'll finish crafting. We've got our fire clay dust. Each of these fires up. I cannot math. Each of these becomes 1 brick. And then I'm going to need... Oh, they don't fire in that furnace. I need to compress them first. Which means I need to build a bronze steam compressor. And then we'll need to build some sort of steam generator. Oh, here we go. A low pressure steam solar boiler. I'm going to need to make one of these. And that should produce enough pressure. It says it produces 6L by T. So 6 liters per tick, I guess. Pressure. And in order to make these brick, I need 4 EU. Okay, I'm just going to assume this is what I have to make. And that. And one of these also. Oh, aluminum wrench. Let's make that. It looks like it had a high durability on it. Yeah, it's got a lot of durability. So might as well go with that instead. This rabbit hole just keeps getting deeper and deeper. Okay, so let's do some math before I completely make a fool of myself. That's enough to make 8 of the 27 fire bricks that we need. So that's not nearly enough. We're gonna need to make some silver plates, some glass, a bronze brick casing, which is gonna need more bricks. We're gonna need pistons, a bronze machine casing, some of these bronze fluid pipes, which you get 1 apiece. Yep, we're gonna need a lot of bronze. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. This is another 8, so that's 21. And then we're gonna need more of these, probably to connect the solar boiler to the pressure. To the compressor. So at least 1. I counted those 5, right? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 21. Yep. Okay. So that means we're going to need 21 plates. And we're out of bronze again. All right, so 21 plates. Next, we're going to need more clay. Probably just fire up 2 batches of this. Actually, I should probably fire up more. I'm going to go collect more clay. And all this just to make these. All right, so I'm going to take a moment and I'm just going to describe how this is set up. If it's done the way I remember it being, you need to have your bottom layer of the fire bricks. Then you surround the middle block like that. The middle block has to be lava, and then you top it off again, and then it becomes the multi-block structure. That's the way I remember it. If GregTech is using the exact same recipe from whatever that mod used to be, because I do not remember, it was, like I said, nearly a decade ago, then I know what I'm doing. If it's different, then I am lost. And I do not know if I need one of these blast furnace blocks, and that would be the middle one that I interact with, or if this, or if every single block is going to be blast furnace block. So we're going to make one blast furnace block and 26 fire brick blocks. And if it works, we're done. If it doesn't, I'll convert them all into the blast furnace brick blocks. Wow, that is going to be a tongue twister. And then hopefully it will work. Okay, so we should have all the bits ready. I just need to grab some glass. And let's see, we want to make one of these, which requires this. And the hammer doesn't autofill because it's got the ability used, but... Alright, so that's the bronze brick casing. We then make the low pressure steam solar boiler. That's a mouthful. And the low pressure steam compressor requires a... Oh. There we go. And then this. Okay. Now we have a steam solar boiler. Well, it's running and it's hot. Now it needs water. If we put that down, it has no steam in it, so it can't do anything yet. But if we put this there, and then I want to make one of those. Wrench, hammer, pipe, and then bucket of water. Don't have any water. And my infinite water source is back at SGC. So let's run down here and grab some water. And our forester is upgraded now. So they are now using iron tools, which means they actually chop down the trees properly. And by properly, I mean without the paxel breaking them, and then them working at like 1/10 the actual speed. Okay, so let's... Okay, I figured that's how it worked. Good to know. Oop, that broke the pipe. All right. We can rotate the block if we had to. How do we provide water to this? Because we can't shift click it on. Well. In case you didn't know, if you don't let the pressure out properly, steam engines explode. Okay, so that just destroyed the whole block, and we don't have anything to show for it now, so I gotta go craft another one. Well, at least the resources aren't that expensive. Well, one of our knights died during the night. A zombie brute spawned, and then we get this achievement, a sad day. Bury your first citizen. So we've obviously had many citizens die, but when they died, they weren't buried properly, like they didn't get gravestones. Well, now they actually did. So we have a gravestone here. And it actually has the colonist's name on it and their job. Can't interact with it, but yep. That's what was supposed to have happened a while ago and never did. And now my colonists are mourning and they're not going to do anything for the rest of the day. And just like that, we have a new child. Which, by the way, I think you remember I renamed my colonist Johnny 5 the other week. I think he renamed himself. Can I help you? I mean, I'm not one to judge, but that's not how you walk around. I renamed you Johnny 5. Who told you could rename yourself?
Hey, good to see you.
You need cobblestone stairs. Let's go back to maybe getting the copper steam stuff working again. And after looking through all of GregTech, and there's a lot to look through, I found an input, output, and steam input hatch. I don't know what the difference is between the input hatch and an input, but I'm willing to bet I need to have one of these connected to the this, and that will accept steam, and another one connected to the no longer existing. Oh wait, I built a new one. Connected to that to pull out the steam. And if it doesn't work again, well, it's cheap-ish. I need to make a bunch more of these again. All right, so that's the 16 we need to make one input and one output. And then we need chests. And then I should have, or could have sworn I had a pipe already. Yeah, okay. It says it can handle gases. So this is the correct pipe we're using. It's not like I put the wrong pipe in and that's what caused the issue. Okay. So now we have an output bus. Pick that up for a moment being. And an input bus. Is that where it goes in? Was that part of the problem? I'm not seeing any interactable ports over there. So let's do this. Let's make ourselves another pipe. Alright, well, I'm not seeing anything like a fluid input, so let's try this again and see if we get another bang. And it should be powered off. Yes. Which means it should cool down. And actually, let's just break it. So now it's cool. I don't have to worry about anything going wrong. And now it's got water in it. Auto output is enabled. This has no additional buttons to press. There's absolutely nothing for me to tell to, you know, push down or whatnot. So we will see if this works. See, 274 is 0 degrees. The 274 Kelvin is 0 Celsius. So this needs to reach 374 before the water starts to boil, I think. Okay, it's now becoming steam. Oh, it's not a 1-to-1. Look at that. One bucket of water is becoming a lot more than one bucket of steam. But none of it is being transported out. Okay, it looks like one bucket of water will become 16 millibuckets. 16 buckets of steam. There we go. That is working. Oh, but I used up all the steam. Okay, now this is filling with steam, but it's not running again. Is that the steam output? Aha. That's the pressure output. Got it. So it wasn't producing because it couldn't release the pressure. Now I understand. Alright, then I'm just gonna let this go. This is almost out of water, but I think it's too hot now to add more water because that's what would cause the explosion. So if I had been constantly feeding this with water, I'd be constantly creating pressure, but I'd keep the temperature down because now the temperature is very high. I don't know what's going to happen when it runs out of water or when it redlines. And the one bucket of water was more than 1 millibucket of steam. Was more than 16 millibuckets of steam. Was a lot more. Just gonna take a step or two back. So that's about the red line. The water's almost out, and if it's gonna pop, it's gonna do so very soon. Okay. I think the issue was I added water when it was too hot, and that's what caused a steam explosion. I'm gonna let this continue to run. We should have enough steam to do the full batch, and then we'll look at making the primitive blast furnace. We'll see if that works, and if it does work, then we're gonna move all of this stuff, start moving this stuff, and set all of our mechanism stuff, which I haven't even started working on yet, up at SGC. Man, you should never say what you're gonna do at the start of an episode until you know if you're actually gonna be able to do it. Oh, well, you look at that. It does actually have the multi-block information. And I was mostly right. So I was thinking it needed to be 3 by 3 with an open spot in the middle. It is 4 by 3 with 3 open spots in the middle. So that means I do need to make an additional 8 bricks over what I was thinking I needed. And we only need the fire bricks and the blast furnace here, the blast furnace block. So we only need one of those. And to get to the multi-block, as you just saw, you can right click on the block. Left click will bring you to the screen where you see how to craft it. Right click will bring it to what you can use it on. And the fourth tab in is multi-block info. And yeah, shows you how to build the multi-block. And then you can go layer by layer. Okay, so if that's the case, then I imagine the coke oven is done the exact same. Okay, this is a 3 tall structure. But you see how there's an open spot in the middle row and then it's closed again? That's how I thought it would be. All right, well, that makes figuring this out much easier. And it looks like we can make bronze drums. And this might be a way to store. It says a way to store your fluids. I do not know if I can store steam as a fluid. it's a gas. So I don't know if I can, but that's something I will have to test out. Okay, and it sounds like, gotta figure out which door I was at. This is done. With those, let's pop in the next batch. And yep, let that run during the night. We can start cooking up these. And these don't look like, these aren't needed for what I was doing. Kind of obviously. But if we click on it, multi-block, it doesn't actually show you how to multi-block them. They're used, I believe, in one of the, I lost it. One of the tanks? Doesn't matter. There's a multi-block. It's used as an input and output for the multi-block. Okay, so they can go in there and we can just forget about them for now. This should start heating up again, but it's, yep, it just kicked on. But it has no steam in it. So I have no issue picking it up. Okay, so you cannot use the wrench to pick up the pipes. You gotta break them. All right, like I said, I'm gonna let that finish running up. We should have almost all of the blocks. We might have to craft up a few more. And then we'll see about making steel without need to use mechanism in order to make mechanism items. Okay, should we just rename this mod pack all the rabbit holes? It's a good thing my chest piece has mending on it, because none of my other armor survived. But my sword did a ton more damage during this raid. I got all but one of them myself. The fire aspect really helps. Oops, hit shaders. Almost ready to test this. Test the next bit of this. This should be done with those. I gotta fire them up. I was working on my colonists build over there while I was waiting, so let me finish doing this, and then we'll see about building the blast furnace. All right, everything should be ready. Let's do this. What was it? Hammer and then screwdriver in the bottom corner. That's a file. And okay, let's try that again. Hammer. Screwdriver. Now we've got the block we needed. We can see about building the blast furnace. What was that message that popped up? Oh, Shepherd's Hut's done. Nice, we'll go visit that in a moment. Let's give this a little distance from my house. I've had enough fun with fire. We're going to leave that block open. All right, put that there. And now we have our multi-block. Awesome. Okay, let's grab the iron. I was smelting up in here. Now we have a full stack. I can't jump fences in this mod. We can toss those in and that in. And now it will fire into coal. Not coal. Now it will fire into steel. It's going to take a little bit of time. Okay, just doesn't create any fiery type effect while it's doing it. So we're going to leave this running. That is creating our coal, our steel, so we don't necessarily need to use a bunch of coal to turn it into steel by cycling through the infuser. This will be more efficient once I have everything set up. I thought I was gonna be able to get all of that done in one day, and it took me all day just to get this working properly. Which now we have a ton of steam that I have no use for right now. So that's gonna just sit there. But yeah, this takes 90 seconds per steel. That's a while. So we're gonna let it just run. Let's go check out our shepherd. Or at least our shepherd's hut. We don't have any sheep for the shepherd yet. Okay, we don't have any sheep in there for the shepherd yet. All right, and then we can move some sheep. She's making a lot of noise. Or are you making noise? Who's making noise? We put the sheep in here, and then she will shear them, and we could actually tell her to dye them. I don't necessarily want her doing that. That's a window. That's the exit. All right, I've been editing as recording, and we're already at about 30 minutes, and we haven't even gotten a chance to get started on mechanism. So, well, too many rabbit holes. The mechanism will have to wait till next episode. Oh boy, GregTech is interesting. But yeah, so furnace works. I've gotten everything out of it. It is now empty. We've got plenty of steam left over, which I have no use for at the moment. So I'm going to need to make some other contraptions, and there are plenty of other GregTech contraptions that use steam. We've got a, those are the boilers, macerator, compressor, forge hammer, furnace, alloy smelter. So yeah, there's other stuff we can do with this. So it's not like this is a one and done, we're going to waste it. We'll make a specific room just for GregTech in SGC over that way. Just like we'll have a specific room for mechanism. But that'll wait till next time. Until then, thank you for joining me today. I hope you've had a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Later.